Hello Malaysia, hello world. Apa khabar? Apa khabar? Welcome back to ECM Talk. Another interesting topic for today and have been a concern by everyone. I am Raja Shahrul, your host. Today's topic, turning 30. What to expect? What about 30? It's all just numbers. It may be important for some but couldn't be bothered for others. Reaching 30 sees as an achievement for those who prepare their life target, but then again, it is just a magic number. There is no specific age to learning. Why set a high expectation to 30? I have here with me Dr. Jimmy Chia, a faculty dean from a private institution in Malaysia. Today's talk is a bit special since Dr. Jimmy will be joining us from his home due to the recent implementation of CMCO, Conditional Movement Control Order, by the government. Let us hear from Jimmy. Hi Jimmy, welcome to ECM Talk. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for inviting me over.
I'll start with my first question for you, Jimmy. For many people, turning 30 is a significant milestone. What do you have to say about this? Is turning 30 really a milestone?
I would say a yes and a no. Yes for those who know what they want and their aspirations of life. No, because not everybody knows what they want in life.
Do you know what you want in life?
Yes, for now, but it took me a good few years to finally figure out what I'm good at and what is my life goals.
Okay.
I didn't have an ambitions growing up. I don't know how people know what they want in life. Definitely not at a very young age. How could you know what you want to do? How do you know what is the kind of lifestyles and the career that you want to be in at the teenage? Personally, it took me a good long time, and at the age of 33, I finally figured out what I want in my life.
So in other words, there's no specific age to achieving anything in your life.
Yes, I would say, because I believe direction is more important than speed. There are people who are jumping into certain things just because everybody is doing the same, because the norm says so. You need to get a degree, you need to get married at a certain age, you need to be at a certain position at a certain age. And I disagree with this one. If you're not clear about your direction, it's better don't run so fast. It's better to spend more time thinking and discovering your own potential.
My next question, what are the expectations that you received and when you were in your early 30s? How did you manage those expectations?
I came back from the UK at the age of 27. I joined the private institutions as a lecturer at the age of 28. It took me less than a year to quit my full-time job. It was quite devastating to my parents and people around me because they would have expected a person with a PhD to do pretty well in their career. But on the contrary, I spent 3 years working just part-time. So I think the expectation back then was for me to focus in my career and do something out of it and earn as much as possible at the age of 30s, which is clearly not happening back then.
You said you quit after 1 year of working. Why is that?
There are a couple of reasons. One of the main reasons is because I'm not sure whether this is where I'm meant to be. Because I don't want to spend a few more years over there and just to realize that it's not for me. While enjoying teaching, I felt like there's something missing in life. And I would like to spend more time thinking through and doing something else. I spent a couple of good years doing voluntary work. I visited countries I've never been before. I've stayed in Taiwan for 2 months. I've got myself involved in the teachings, the migrant students, or should I say the refugees children in Malaysia. And I was also helping out the disabled in Malaysia. When the times is right for me to continue, I came back, or should I say I went back to the academic educations. Sorry, I went back to the private institutions, and yep, that's where I continue my career.
You look confused yourself.
Yeah, likewise. So we have to redo this part. Okay, yeah.
You look confused yourself.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, yeah. I was confused anyway.
You were saying about you were passionate about helping out something about in other than being in education. How did you get into all that? Was it through your parents, or influence from your parents, or you followed someone to go into it?
I think the desire to give, to contribute to the society, it's always there. I just don't know how and to do it when I was a kid. I was given the opportunity to serve when I was a student in UK. Maybe it's easier to be a volunteer in a developed country. So I remember it all started as a student serving in a blind society in the UK, very close to my university, just probably serving lunch to the visually impaired elderly people. And the visions of contributing to the society stayed with me very strongly, and I felt that life is more than just career and money. And I don't define success, and I don't think I should be labeled based on how much money I make in my life. I think it's on the impact that I made while I'm still alive. And I want to discuss, I just want to explore a little bit more about that when I'm able to. Because I understand that once I've gone into full times and once I've achieved, well, maybe when I'm at my 30s or 40s, it's very difficult to slow down. So while I'm still capable, I want to spend more time just understanding a bit more and whether or not I'm meant for that areas.
You were saying something about money. So would you believe that when I say money is the root of all evils?
Well, I guess it's close to that. But I wouldn't say money is the root of all evil. I think it's a love of money. I think money, it can be blessings. You can use money and to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
To me, money, it's resources, but the love of money, it's the root of evil.
Can you share with us some advice for people out there who are terrified at turning 30?
Well, this is what I'm going to share with you. Don't be too afraid. If you think you're lost, the honest truth is that you are not alone. There are many people who appears to know what they want in life. They may appear good in social media, but I can guarantee that you are not the only one who feel lost. I felt lost when I finished my exams, my final exams in life. Instead of celebrating, I was lost. I felt so lost because I didn't know what to do next. That was the reason why I went and do a PhD. And even after doing my PhD, guess what? I felt lost as well. So I think for people who usually feel lost, maybe it's because they haven't got a certain aspirations to be a certain profession, but that's fine. It's okay. Not all of us are called to be doctor. Not all of us are called to be teachers. It's fine. What you need to do is spend a bit more time understanding yourself.
And so do you feel that yourself, upon reaching 30, you came to understand yourself?
Not at the age of 30. I think if I were to trace it back, must be by the age of 33. I talk about teaching, I talk about some of the voluntary work. One of the areas I haven't quite explored is in the management role. And I was fortunate enough to be asked to lead a team of lecturers, and to look into accreditations, to look into developing new programs and all. And I eventually find out that I actually enjoy this role a lot more than any other role. And you could tell because if you are able to spend if you are able to burn midnight oils and spend countless nights doing something, and yet you don't mind how much, whether or not you're being paid OT and all, you're probably meant for that role. And I kind of find my way, and that's how I figure out that I'm made for that role. And that explains why I haven't got an ambitions since growing up, because many envisions your ambitions, and you relate it more with the uniform or the lifestyles of a particular professions.
Yeah.
That's why people know they want to become doctor, because they can visualize it based on the uniform.
Okay.
Now, people who wants to be a YouTuber because they can visualize it by their lifestyle. But to be in the management role without that kind of exposures from your family, it's kind of difficult. That's why there are people who felt lost in the past, or who are still feeling lost. That's probably because you are in that area.
In terms of percentage, where do you think you are now in terms of achieving something in your life?
I think the percentage change. I think it's retrospective to what you want in life, and that itself changes as well.
Okay.
Looking at my life goals at the moment and how much have I achieved, I would say that pretty good 70%.
That's above average, I would say.
Yeah, so a 30% more before retirement then.
Or there's only saving in for retirement.
Yes.
Okay, right. Is there anything else you want to tell us with regards to this topic, Jimmy?
Yeah, so I just want to talk a bit more about life goals. And when we talk about life goals, what you want to do in life, I think the first thing you have to understand is the purpose of life. It makes sense to me. I'm not sure how much it makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me because we're talking about life goals. How could you have a life goals, a correct one, without understanding the purpose of life? So that's the first thing that I would challenge you to find out. And number two is that I believe in a life end appraiser. It's just like year end appraiser. Most of people who work, those who work, we know year end you have an appraiser. Your superior, your boss will tell you whether you have done a good job or a bad job, okay, for that particular year. And I believe we will have one at the end of our career. At the end of your life, okay. And what you really don't want is by doing so much and after living 30, 40, 50, 70 years, just to figure out that you have done something not quite right. Maybe you have done the wrong things. I came across a video recently. You could probably Google it. It's called a do nothing machines. It's a very sophisticated machines, and it does a lot of things, but it produces zero results. That's why the builder call it a do nothing machines. So my advice is don't just get yourself busy doing something and doing what everybody is doing, because it may not be your calling. Don't live a life like the do nothing machines, where you're doing a lot but you're not producing anything for yourself and not for the community.
Thank you, Jimmy, for sharing your wonderful thoughts. For those reaching 30, have no fear, because Jimmy is here. And final word, Jimmy. This is for real. Final word.
Thank you, Roger. You just reminded me of a saying in Cantonese, 唔使驚，阿婆喺大廳. That means to say, do not fear, because grandma is in the living room. But in this case, 唔使驚, Jimmy 喺大廳, okay? Take good care, and let's continue to stay safe.
Turning 30 isn't something you should fear. You have heard from the man himself who has gone through the magic age of 30. Just go with the flow. It's the year you get to experience the ups and downs of life. Never give up. Once again, thank you, Dr. Jimmy Chia, for being here with us and sharing your life story. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Edu Channel Malaysia. If you haven't won yet, continue to adhere to the SOP and practice personal care to complement the new normal. Let's fight the COVID-19 chain together. Until we meet again, don't forget to wear the mask and sanitizer. Jumpa lagi.